Thomas Sowell and Justice Clarence Thomas are far better black role models to celebrate than Martin Luther King. This guy is not worthy of a national holiday.
There's a mythology around MLK that does not warrant the reverence that he gets treated with in America.
We have a federal holiday to a guy that talked about race all the time. Kirk describes King as, quote, a bad guy. It's true. We celebrate the Civil Rights Act more than the American founding. The country made a mistake when it passed the Civil Rights Act. Also true.
All right, guys, we need to talk about Charlie Kirk again, because what I've been seeing since his death, it is just really quite disturbing. And I will say again, Charlie Kirk having his life taken from him is an absolute tragedy. I do not think that people should be getting killed for the things that they believe. But at the same time, I'm not going to stand by and watch this man be lionized and deified, especially when he spent most of his adult life spewing hate all over the world. And to now watch people in Congress, people in the MAGA movement, people in the Trump administration, to watch these people come out and pretend that Charlie Kirk was some sort of saint or some sort of civil rights icon, I just really think it's doing a disservice to the rest of this country. Charlie Kirk was a Christian nationalist. He was a self-avowed Christian nationalist. He thought that women should only go to college so they could find themselves a husband, and that when they married, well, those women should submit to their husbands. He thought that the Civil Rights Act shouldn't have been passed in America, and that if he were to see a black pilot, well, he would have to really question whether or not that pilot was able to do the job. And I'm going to go ahead and show you Charlie Kirk in Charlie Kirk's own words, because the Seneca Project put together a really, really good video of Charlie Kirk speaking about the things that he liked to speak about. But first, we got to look at how people like Troy Nehls, a sitting congressperson, is trying to say that Charlie Kirk would have been a 13th disciple if he were living through biblical times. If you guys do appreciate my work and want to support the show, please do remember to subscribe.
Charlie Kirk was a man of faith. First and foremost, he loved his Lord Jesus. He loved his family. Beautiful wife, beautiful children. Just a remarkable, honorable man that was silenced with this assassin's bullet. I would say if Charlie Kirk lived in the biblical times, he'd have been the 13th disciple. He'd have been the 13th disciple.
Look, I have no doubt that Charlie Kirk was a man of faith, that he was somebody who loved his family dearly. I have empathy for his wife, his children that he left behind, his parents that he left behind. Charlie Kirk had people that loved him, and I feel bad that he was taken away from those people in the way that he was. But to think that Charlie Kirk would stand on the same ground as the 12 disciples back in biblical days? I mean, what are we even talking about? Charlie Kirk spent day in and day out spewing vitriol and hate against minority communities and people that he would consider his political opponents. And then you have Donald Trump during his own memorial saying that, well, Charlie Kirk, he just wanted what was best for everybody. He wanted what was best for his opponents.
Charlie wrote back to the staff member saying, I'm not here to fight them. I want to know them and love them, and I want to reach them and try and lead them into a great way of life in our country. In that private moment on his dying day, we find everything we need to know about who Charlie Kirk truly was. He was a missionary with a noble spirit and a great, great purpose. He did not hate his opponents. He wanted the best for them. That's where I disagreed with Charlie. I hate my opponent.
So aside from that absolutely insane comment coming from the President of the United States, to think that Charlie Kirk wanted the best for all of his opponents, I mean, where are we getting this shit from? Charlie Kirk may have worn the aesthetic of free speech, of open dialogue, of open debate, but one of the main missions that he was trying to fulfill on these university campuses is that he wanted to make liberals look like a bunch of whack jobs. He wanted to make the liberals look weak, look pathetic. He wanted to humiliate them. That way he could clip it up in videos and spread it all over the internet to make his movement look as though they were destroying the other side. That was one of the main things that Charlie Kirk set out to do. And so while he did wear this aesthetic of wanting to go out there and have open and honest dialogue, that is not really what he was trying to do. Now, he did go out there and speak to college students all over the country, which I commend him for to some degree. I think it takes a lot of guts to go out there in these college campuses and being able to take these debates like he did. But to think that he had just all this love in his heart for all of his opponents, and he just wanted what was best for everybody in this country, that's just not how it happened. These people are just trying to gloss over just all of the bad shit that Charlie Kirk was actually engaged in. And now you've got people like Glenn Beck coming out and saying that Charlie Kirk was a civil rights leader, like MLK.
Make no mistake, Charlie Kirk was a civil rights leader as much as Martin Luther King. I'm waiting to see the first city that will make a Charlie Kirk Boulevard. Phoenix, you should be the one. There's a Martin Luther King Boulevard. There should be a Charlie Kirk Boulevard. Charlie Kirk was a civil rights leader, and we must take that for him and own that, because all of these so-called civil rights leaders, Black Lives Matter, that was a money scam.
I don't think I've ever heard anybody claim that the Black Lives Matter movement was some sort of civil rights leader, civil rights icon. But to compare Charlie Kirk to MLK, I mean, are you fucking kidding me? Whose civil rights are we talking about here, Glenn Beck? Are we talking about the white Christians that Charlie Kirk stood up for? Are those the civil rights we're talking about? I thought civil rights were supposed to be for everybody, because everybody is born equal, and therefore they are afforded the same rights by God. But that's not the type of thing that you would hear from Charlie Kirk on a daily basis. No, we instead heard some of the most heinous shit that you can imagine. And so I want to go ahead and play this video now. And this is by the Seneca Project. And they did such a good job of clipping Charlie up in his own words to really kind of give you a feel for what people think about people like me when I hear the name Charlie Kirk. The things that are put together in this video, these are the types of things that I think about when I hear Charlie Kirk's name. So huge shout out to the Seneca Project. They did a great job here. This video is a little bit longer, but I would encourage everybody to get the whole way through it, because it really just shows the types of things that Charlie Kirk was actually spewing on a daily basis.
One more thing that's on my mind tonight, and conservatives everywhere, the idea that people are saying, well, he was an extremist, or he was a racist, or he was a Nazi, or a misogynist, whatever. Charlie Kirk was a mainstream conservative Republican. He had views that are held by tens of millions of people, including more than half the country in the last election.
If I see a black pilot, I'm going to be like, boy, I hope he's qualified. It begs the question, when you see a black pilot, you wonder, you say, I hope they are qualified. And in the spirit of affirmative action, we have Ramon and Cadillac are your two pilots. They've never flown before, but they are black. If I'm dealing with somebody in customer service who's a moronic black woman, is she there because of her excellence, or is she there because of affirmative action? I'm only here because of affirmative action. Yeah, we know. You do not have the brain processing power to otherwise be taken really seriously.
The war on white people continues.
You had to go steal a white person's slot to go be taken somewhat seriously.
We are raising a generation of weak people like Simone Biles.
LeBron James is a self-interested, narcissistic, and we know he's not very smart.
You're representing your nation. You're selfish sociopath.
Not very bright, not wise, not somebody of good character.
She is a shame to the country.
Blacks in America did not have the same rights they had today. Data shows they were actually better in the 1940s.
Let's get loud for Kyle Rittenhouse. I'm also going to offer some context and some nuance about the death of George Floyd that no one dares to say out loud.
which is that this guy was a scumbag.
Remember what BLM stands for? Burn, loot, and murder.
Now, does that mean it deserves to die? That's two totally different things. Of course not.
Prowling blacks go around for fun to go target white people. That's a fact.
There's no such thing as white privilege or racism, so.
Black people are allowed to talk about black culture in a way that white culture cannot. Black people can go up and say that there's a baby mama problem in black America, and white people are not allowed to say that. Oh, I just did. So what are you gonna do, cancel me? Black people are allowed to say, I'm
a grown man, I got way too
black
much
people
to
are allowed. Skin color now gets their own summertime celebration. Oh wow, look how far blacks have come. It has now become a racial complaining day. Thomas Sowell and Justice Clarence Thomas are far better black role models to celebrate than Martin Luther King. This guy is not worthy of a national holiday.
There's a mythology around MLK that does not warrant the reverence that he gets treated with in America.
We have a federal holiday to a guy that talked about race all the time. Kirk describes King as, quote, a bad guy. It's true. We celebrate the Civil Rights Act more than the American founding. The country made a mistake when it passed the Civil Rights Act. Also true. The Democrats are not lifting a finger to remember the well over 100 people that have died in Texas Hill Country. The death toll likely would not have been as high if it wasn't for DEI.
Ketanji Brown Jackson is what your country looks like on critical race theory.
You're gonna remove my appendix and you're a black lesbian?
Ketanji Brown Jackson is an embodiment of the tyranny that we currently live under. She's an ideological, unintelligent, yet confident fanatic.
Why does Kirk believe passing the Civil Rights Act was a mistake? Now, again, apparently they don't listen to the show because we do that at least once a week, right?
So she wants to be the first ever black woman on the Supreme Court, yet she won't even admit that she's a woman.
The transgender movement is an introductory phase. These doctors need to be put in prison to get you to strip yourself of your humanity. A Nuremberg-style trial to mesh with machines. Interestingly, I think there is an argument to bring back the MRS degree.
Reject feminism.
Young women need to get married at a younger age and start having kids. I'm studying sociology. No, you're not. We know why you're here.
Submit to your husband, Taylor. You're not in charge.
You will find a husband if you have the intent to find a husband.
You got to change your name. If not, you don't really mean it.
Democrat women want to die alone without children.
A lot of them are on birth control too, and birth control really screws up female brains, by the way.
That's really rich. I didn't know women not to complain 50 years ago. That's funny. We should tell them to stop freezing their eggs and start finding their partner earlier and have lots of babies.
Every single one of you need to make sure that your loved ones are not on birth control.
So materially insane to think that 1 in 5 American women will be raped in their life.
It is, I agree.
No, meaning that they're lying about being raped.
You're comparing abortion to the Holocaust.
Absolutely I am. In fact, it's worse. It's worse. Because Jewish donors have been the #1 funding mechanism of radical, open border, neoliberal, quasi-Marxist policies. And by the way, this is my other problem with death penalty. It takes too long, too many appeals.
Expensive.
It should be public. It should be quick. It should be televised. Well, at what age should you start to see public execution?
16. I think you could do it earlier. I think you maybe at age 12.
I want to watch that execution. That'll make my day better. A lot. I mean, Joe Biden is a bumbling, dementia-filled, Alzheimer's, corrupt tyrant who should honestly be put in prison and or given the death penalty for his crimes against America.
The Democrat Party believes everything that God hates.
We're dealing with maggots, vermin, and swine here. These are not good people. They're not even a little bit good. In fact, I know people that went to Haiti passively as agnostic atheists, and they came back searching for Jesus because they saw legit demonic activity. Kamala Harris wants to see the elimination of the United States of America.
Democrat Party supports everything that God hates.
There's not much you can do, folks. You have a government that hates you. You have a traitor as a president. Buy weapons. I keep on saying that.
As top Republicans reject any link between GOP rhetoric and Paul Pelosi assault. If some amazing patriot out there in San Francisco wants to really be a midterm hero, someone should go and bail this guy out. Native-born Americans, you better buy weapons, everybody. Have a lot of guns at your disposal. I would never leave your home without a weapon. I think it's worth to have a cost of, unfortunately, some gun deaths every single year, so that we can have the Second Amendment to protect our other God-given rights.
We actually need looser gun laws because I think that
Oh yeah.
They said we have more guns at the Turning Point HQ than you can imagine. Yeah, if anyone ever tries to come, that will not end well for you.
Oh no, imagine the world without Joy Reid. Imagine the world without Sheila Jackson Lee or Michelle Obama or Ketanji Brown Jackson.
I am channeling the emotions of millions of conservatives who are angry. They knew Charlie. They loved Charlie. They viewed Charlie as a mainstream conservative Republican.
So again, huge shout out to the Seneca Project who put this video together. I know it's a little bit longer, but I think, like I said, this really gives you a feel for what I think of, what others think of when they hear the name Charlie Kirk. So great job by the Seneca Project here. And I just don't even know where to begin. I kind of want to just let the video just sit with you and speak for itself. I mean, there's just so much vile shit that Charlie Kirk spewed on a daily basis. Talking about how black women don't have the brain processing power, about how none of these people would have been in their jobs unless it were for affirmative act. I mean, where do you even start with all of it? Not to mention all of the violent rhetoric that we heard, public executions, stockpiling weapons, never leave your home without your weapon. I mean, it just really does a good job of embodying what people listening to the Charlie Kirk show every day was getting their brain rotted out with. Charlie Kirk, to put him in the same vein, to put him in the same category as somebody like Martin Luther King Jr., I mean, it's just absolutely insane. I was kind of thinking about this too. When Martin Luther King Jr. died, when a lot of these civil rights icons died, when a lot of people of prominence die, you normally hear about some of their seminal speeches that they gave, some of the words that stood from the page that they would write with, or give speeches or whatever. You'd have those types of things being passed around as a form of remembrance about, say, somebody like MLK. Why aren't we seeing that with Charlie Kirk? Why aren't we seeing all of these inspirational speeches that Charlie Kirk gave? Might it be because they were so laced with the vitriol and the hate and the degradation of minorities? Is maybe that why we aren't getting clips of Charlie Kirk being passed around about all of the great things that he would say on a daily basis? Is that why? Again, guys, to watch people in Congress, on the House floor, on the Senate floor, trying to do a Charlie Kirk Remembrance Day. What are we doing? This is not a man that I would want my children to look up to. This is not somebody that I would want to emulate. This is somebody who is a white Christian nationalist who apparently, very clearly, had some very racist views. Somebody who hated liberals. I mean, we heard the way he spoke about them there. How liberals and Democrats believe everything that God hates. I just cannot stand by and watch this guy be lionized by the MAGA movement. And I think that Scott Jennings is wrong. I think that Charlie Kirk may have represented maybe a moderate in the MAGA movement, but that only shows us two things. That we are currently being ruled by the tyranny of the minority. The MAGA movement is the minority in this country. But also, Charlie Kirk represents a moderate because the MAGA movement has become so damn extreme. So damn extreme. So I disagree with Scott Jennings saying that this is what half of the country believes. I don't believe that. I think many people in the MAGA movement believe that, but I don't think it comes anywhere close to half of this country believing the same vile shit that Charlie Kirk spewed on a daily basis. So I will leave it there for now, guys. I would encourage you guys to pass this video around, share this video, the one you're watching now, or I will try to remember to link this video from the Seneca Project in the description below if you want to send that to people. We just got to push back against this lionization of a man who spewed hate on a daily basis. I think it is our duty to do so, to watch half of this country kind of gloss over it, kind of whitewash all of these terrible things. like I said, I think it's doing a disservice to this country, and I don't think we should stand for it. So I'll leave it there for now, guys. If you guys got anything out of this video, please do remember to smash that like button and subscribe. Maybe share with a friend or two. I'd very much appreciate that. We've got to build something here on the left that pushes back against this MAGA media machine that just launders all of these terrible ideas day in and day out. So if you do like what I do here, please do remember to smash that subscribe button. Of course, that is free right here on YouTube. If you guys want to go a step above and beyond that and help me produce these videos, you can become a member right here on YouTube for as little as $3 a month, or you can jump over to politiscape.substack.com and you can have my content delivered directly to your inbox on a daily basis without the doom scrolling, without the algorithms. And I also want to remind everybody too that this is exactly why I joined the Unfuck America tour. We wanted to be a countervailing force to the hate and the vitriol that Charlie Kirk was trying to poison these young people's minds with. And so head over to politiscapetv.com. You can find the Unfuck America donate button there. We need to make it to our next stop because these Turning Point USA events, they will go on, and so will we. We just got done with an event at Colorado State University that went pretty well. We could really use your help in pushing back against all of this nonsense. So, like I said, head over to politiscapetv.com. You can find the donate to the Unfuck America Tour button there. I would greatly appreciate it, guys. And as I will keep on saying, this has got to be a team effort, and we've got a ton of work to do before the next election. So, till next one, guys, take care of yourselves, and I'll see you on the next one.